Hello and welcome back to an alignment and adjustment video. I'm super happy I'm doing this, that I'm sticking to this. It motivates me also having people watching this, even though just a few friends by now. Who knows if I ever look back into these videos in 10 years, whoever's gonna watch this. And yeah, so today we're gonna cover Uttanasana, also called paschimottanasana, known as forward fold. Can be adjusted or used for standing and the seated position. And yeah, basically what I'm gonna say you can use for both. And as it is a very common and frequent use, especially for moon salutations and sun salutations, and it's actually we get in school, at least in my case when I went to school, we got tested by, oh, how's your flexibility? Do you get to touch your toes or not? So it's something that it's pretty common in our world and our daily lives and how we're raised. So yeah, I thought about giving some tips, or the tips and the way that I got taught about it in my course and along my experience and going to yoga classes and yada yada yada. So yeah, I thought about dropping this here, and let's do this. So we're gonna start with the seated position because that's maybe the most, it's easier because we have gravity on our favor and the floor. So forward fold or paschimottanasana, seated position, we start from our dandasana, which dandasana is this. So legs are straight at the front, and if you happen to have a lot of flesh here, you can just pull it out and sit on the bones. And spine is straight. You have to engage your core, your abs, and your pelvic floor. And when we're here, you can also support here with your hands. That would be dandasana, right? We're not like pushing the floor away as in other. It's just like a soft support, right? And to do paschimottanasana, what we have to picture first is like as we would have a wall at the sole of our feet. So we're pressing into that wall. So we're flexing our feet, but it's not that our toes are like super pointed back. It's just like we have them straight here. And we have to imagine, as well as in all our standing poses, that we're pressing into the 3 points, which are like underneath the big toe, at the pinky one, and on the heel. Those are usually our supporting points whenever we're on our feet, or we picture our supporting points right now. So we imagine we have a wall right there, and we bring our arch of the feet together, we bring our knees together, and we engage our thighs. And we picture, as we were doing here, putting the flesh out, we picture also that by engaging, we're like squeezing the knees kind of like together, like spiraling in. Okay, so we do spiral in, so we have this contact here, this point of support in a way. And also we picture that the back of our knees, we're pressing it against the floor, right? That's the thing that I usually say a lot in my classes or in my sequences. Imagine to press the back of the knee backwards, right? That makes maybe the engagement easier to picture. So yeah, kind of like from the glutes, it comes out and in to the knees. Calves are touching the ground and the heels as well. And from here, you can either, you can just straighten your arms up, apple. And from here, we just grow up. We try to grow up as much as we can. And from this maximum, we start to bow forward. We bow, and we bow from here, from the pelvis, right? From the hip creases. We don't bow from this area, but on the lower back, we don't inch here. I know it's difficult. It's also difficult for me. I always have here the vertebrae coming out. Like just like sitting straight is already something for me. But that's a theory. So you just picture it, and if you picture it, it's gonna happen. And if not, at least in your brain, it looks beautiful if you picture it. So we sit in an L shape here, bringing our hands up, and we bring them up and front, 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 and we try always to bring front and to bring ourselves front from the hip creases, right? We're bending from the hip creases, and whenever you can more, that it starts like to vibrating, like in my case, then you bend and maybe grab your toes. And if you don't get the toes, you're only on your chins or you're on your knees, you can use yourself, help yourself with a belt, putting it over the arch of the back. And then from here you push, but you pull, but don't pull here, don't inch the neck back. So again, keeping that up and front, like if you would bring the belly button towards the floor, or you bring the lower sternum, you want to bring that to your knees or your chin somehow, as you could like kind of like melt like this, right? Close like a book. So we melt here, and here we can help again with the belt, just pull, and we can just chill here. And if you want to work on this stretch, if this is too easy, one thing you can do also is, I got blocks. Don't working with books anymore, but they're over there, so feel free to take a book. If that's too easy, that's too easy. So the grip with the hand would be like we pull the feet out, right? So we had the squeeze in here straight, and then from our feet we pull it out. We don't have like to open it the whole way, doesn't have to be, but it's the energy, that's how it flows, right? And that's gonna make even more that here it's zipped. So if with the belt it's easy, or here you're coming pretty well, you can always use a block to also like to picture like, oh, I have to bring this block as far away as possible. I'm gonna try to bring this block over my toes. That's also a challenge to practice the technique. So you just bring it up in front, and maybe perhaps gonna happen that, oh, you're gonna fall right in front of your sole of the feet, and then you can again pull yourself and press the back of the knee towards the ground and the calves, and you're gonna feel how all the back side of your leg is kind of like spread out to the outer side, of course, and you're gonna feel how the whole stretch, a nice intense stretch, is gonna happen here. And then from here, gonna leave the block away, you can always then rest your neck here, maybe bringing the nose or gazing to your knees. You can even close them here and relax the neck, relax the jaw. And here's a nice pose just to stay for a while in this cocoon for relaxation. Also when we have to go to bed or we have to calm down, wind down, always coming to all this making yourself a ball or folding poses are nice. And yeah, that's it. And this would be the seated position, and the standing position would be basically the same technique, but just standing. And now the video stopped, so I'll have to talk to my videographer. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna adjust the zoom because I'm gonna stand now. So you can see me kind of standing. I'm getting there. Beautiful. And this stopped. Amazing. I love it. Anyway, technology. So you're probably not going to see my face now, but we're going to start standing. You can come into your toes, of course, not toes, you come on your feet, keeping the feet together. If keeping them together is a lot, you can always keep them a bit separate, right? You can separate them if that feels more natural for you, but keep the same distance between the feet and the knees. That's important. Okay. Screen sharing, yes, please. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Whatever. Yeah, sorry for that. Still expanding my team to have my makeup and having videographers and having people editing. That's all me. Yeah, so coming to your standing position with the toes either together or not. And from here, you also kind of like grow and stand up straight. And as we were doing sitting, you're not going to put the flesh away from your glutes because there's no flesh to put away, there's no ground. But in this case, it's going to be more difficult to keep the 90 degrees as in the Dandasana. So raise your hands above your head. And so now you're going to see my face finally again. You're going to come front into your Dandasana in this inverted L shape. And here we can usually notice that we have to balance on our toes. That's why it's important, what I was saying at the beginning, that we press into this triangle, which is going to be our support, and expand the toes because we're going to balance on them. Why do we need the balance? Because when we're sitting, it's easy to have the glutes and the calves and the legs in general in one line. But when we're standing, what usually happens is when we bend forward, we compensate the weight from our heavy head. We compensate by bringing the hips back. So what we're going to try always is, again, what we were doing with the block earlier, we're going to raise and bring up and front and front and front without compromising our nose and our teeth, of course. And you're going to grab the mat with your toes, engaging the core. And from here again, bending again from the hip creases, pushing the back of the knees backwards, and eventually coming down, folding front, forward fold. Exactly. And here basically it's the same. So I picture that my thighs are turning inwards at the front, and at the back they're kind of like opening, right? As if I would like just twist them with my own hands, bringing the knees together, pushing the back of the knees back, supporting on the feet. And here I can always bring a block or just maybe hug my legs. You can actually help maybe to bring the nose closer. And again, it's like as I would be able to bring the belly button towards, now in this case my door, in my case the door, bring the chest to the knees. And whenever this is done, the last thing that comes is the neck and the head. And there we are. Again, you can use blocks, 1 block, 2 blocks in this case. The belt, no, it's not much needed. And here, yeah, just picture yourself that you want to go front. We don't want to go back. Of course, that's a balance thing, and that's a thing you have to practice. But also whatever you can play with, if you don't get to the floor, only to the block or to the book or whatever, you can always play here around. Maybe always coming a bit more front until whenever at some point you may be straight, and maybe keep this, put the block in the front, press the floor, grab the floor with the toes, get the block and lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. And here you're gonna feel how you have to press with the knees back, and you have to engage the core, and you have to zip it up here. And that's what it's gonna be, the engagement from this posture. Also, a way you can test how straight you are at the back while standing is doing it, against a wall. Of course, it's pretty difficult to be able to do it by having the heels right at the wall. So step a bit more front. I mean, I'm not able to do it, like too much flesh. So you raise up and you see as I'm bowing, you're gonna feel like, oh, I need to balance, right? that's not be possible. So we step a bit more front and see where our challenge is. All right, this to come up and down. And whenever you're down, you just want to work this, you can always step back and push yourself with the hands back and work on this fold. So yeah, that's basically my tips or my ideas or my adjustments, alignment, indications, cues for this pose. I hope it helps. I hope you have fun trying this out and seeing also how you can apply it on your sequencing and on your classes and see the improvements, because actually if you're really consistent, and I don't mean like, oh, you have to be like over months and every day, no, like you can see the difference like in a month if you do just twice a week. So it's pretty fast and fascinating how fast it goes. So yeah, I'm happy you liked it. I hope. I don't know. I just assume that. And yeah, maybe see you in another video. Thank you. Bye.